Things are concluding. We're getting to our conclusion paragraph, people. We're almost there. This is video 6 of 7 about theme essays, trying to craft good theme essays, identifying and writing about the theme in a work of fiction. So, let's get to the conclusion paragraph. We've already spent time talking about what is a theme and how do I craft my introduction, how do I set up my paper in MLA format, what should be in my body paragraphs, and how do I use quotes, and how do I use internal citations. And now we've done all of that, we get to wrap it up. It's the part where we say, cheerio, good old chap, time to get going. So what should be in my conclusion paragraph? Well, it's a wrap up. You need to find your way to restate your thesis. Remember, your thesis statement was there at the end of your introduction paragraph. It was going to tell your reader the whole point of your essay. So when you get to your conclusion, you need to remind your reader. Now, if your essay has done a good job of discussing that thesis, it won't be like oh yeah, that's what this whole thing was about. It would be more like yes, this makes sense now. So the wrap up, find a way to restate your thesis. It's best if it's not word for word. That's a little bit mechanical and chunky, clunky, not awesome. But find a way to restate it. And then you give a little bit of an overview. You restate your main evidence, the arguments that you've made. And guys, a lot of people make the mistake of that's all they do in their conclusion paragraph. Restate the thesis, restate arguments. That's not all that a conclusion paragraph should do. You need to expand. You need to think out. You need to make your reader think outward from this topic. So what? So I say make sure that you get to a keep thinking about it ending. You want to expand out to answer the so what question. Like, why does this matter? What's the point here? Okay, I read a novel and I found some things in the novel about life, or whatever theme I ended up with. Why does that matter? So we want our readers to keep thinking about what we have written about. We don't want them to read the essay and go, that was nice, and never think about it again. There's no point in writing that way. There's no point in reading if you're never going to think about it again. So we want our readers to keep thinking about this topic. The idea of an essay is that it should add value to somebody's life. Otherwise, what a waste of time. Okay? You're developing some skills, that's important, but you need to think past even that to say, how can I add value to somebody else's experience of this novel or to somebody else's experience of life? So this is the big thing about a conclusion paragraph. It needs to cause the reader to keep thinking about this topic, keep thinking about this theme. Maybe they'll start to notice it in books that they read, or movies that they watch, or TV shows that they experience. Maybe it will have some correlation to their own actual lives. That's what we want. We want to write essays that are not just academic exercises, but that actually matter. So a keep thinking about it kind of question. Let's look at the example here. Back to Frankenstein. Oh, Frankenstein, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. So here's what this could look like. It can be very, very simple, guys. A conclusion paragraph doesn't have to be long. Here's what I've done. A restatement of the thesis. So, the word so signals, it's one of those signal words. It signals that the end is nigh. The end is coming. And for some people, that'll be like, oh, thank you, finally. And for some people, that says, okay, we're starting to wrap up. So, the novel Frankenstein does show nature as a healer of mind and body. There's just a simple restatement of the thesis. If we go back to the top of the essay, the thesis statement said, one theme in this novel is that time spent enjoying nature can heal the soul of many troubles. Okay? In my restatement, Frankenstein shows nature as a healer of mind and body. Now that I've come to the bottom of my essay, I know what I have written and I know exactly what details and support I've used. I may actually revise my thesis statement. Notice I started off saying can heal the soul of many troubles, but then some of my evidence was going to lead into physical healing in nature. So as my conclusion mentions nature healing mind and body, well, maybe I revise my thesis statement to include mind and body as well. So, just a thought there. By the time you get to the end of your essay, you actually know what you've written about, and you may want to go back and revise your introduction to match what this essay actually says. We thought it was going to say one thing. Sometimes that changes through the course of your writing, and that's okay. That's writing is evolution. It evolves, it moves and changes. And so, if you've arrived at a slightly different spot than you thought you would, great. Go back and do a little bit of revision. Guys, the soul of writing is in revision. We want to do good revision. So I'm going to say here the restatement of my thesis. It does show nature as a healer of mind and body. Well, Mr. White, remind us why. Don't mind if I do. Victor experiences this healing of body after being sick for 2 months as a result of immersing himself in his scientific project. Okay, so that was what my second body paragraph was going to be about. If I wrote this thing fully out, my second body paragraph is about Victor spending so much time and effort and energy on this scientific achievement that he actually literally makes himself sick, and it takes being in nature to heal him. Okay, so that's one of the ways that I'm showing my thesis is true. And then I also say he experiences the healing of mind several times as nature repairs his broken emotions and his sorrow after terrible events. And I would probably give my third body paragraph would probably go to that another example of his emotion healing in nature. Okay, so I restated my thesis. I gave a brief overview of the evidence that I've used in my body paragraphs. And here is, guys, a simple one sentence, so what? The keep thinking about it ending. It may be worth our time to rediscover the healing power of nature for ourselves in the midst of our busy 21st century lives. Isn't that so simple? Now, I could expand on that. I could type a little bit more about that so that the conclusion of my essay really does expand outward. It flows out into real life. It started in a bit of literary fiction, and now it's actually flowing out into real life. I could expand on that. I could spend a little bit more time. Sometimes teachers will tell you, I don't want to hear anything new in your conclusion paragraph. It just needs to say what your essay was about. And I say, boo, that is so boring. It's so mechanical. It's terrible to use a conclusion moment to just say, here was my thesis. Here's what I said it again. Goodbye. It's terrible. That's not the way you want to do a conclusion. So spend the time in your conclusion to expand outward. Let your thoughts and your ideas about the theme in your literary work have some real impact in the world. Spread it out, broaden somebody's horizons, apply it to life, make something in this conclusion paragraph answer, so what? Why did I spend my time reading this essay? You want your reader to keep thinking about this when they put the essay down. Okay? So that's what your conclusion should do. We're trying to get a wrap up, a restatement of the thesis, an overview, the main arguments, but then really we want to get to this. Keep thinking about it. How can I make my reader dwell with the information that I've given them? Think about it, talk about it, write about it, and I will see you next time for the ending, the works cited page.